The only reason why Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to...
I'm sure it's President Bola Ahmed. We want to say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The only reason... President now? Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
No, let's do this. He's not your president, Aisha.
I don't have a president.
No, don't say that now.
Why would I not say that? If you want to
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not your president.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State. If you want to sit here,
so and... the one interview.
No, I don't even need to. I'll just walk away so that you answer. You ask yourself and you answer yourself.
Okay, so you don't accept he's the president of...
No, I don't.
You don't accept?
No. I don't, because he didn't win the 2023 election.
But he said he won. The court said he won. Mm-hmm. And all of us Nigerians, except you, and maybe Dele Farotimi had one saying this.
And you just mentioned the sheikh that had said that. Also recently, I think, is he a senator, a sitting senator or something in one of the states? That said people should be killed. Yes. On that. So we're already used to seeing their supporters anyways on X threatening people and actually carrying out the threats and nothing happening. So for me, I really don't see anything new in the statement that Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu made, because Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu and he will make such statement. In terms of the statement that was made by the Islamic cleric, one thing I would like for everybody, you understand, hold on to the anger that statement evoked in you. It's a challenge. I remember, and now let me digress a little bit and go back to 2022. I'm not very sure now, but I think it was Festus Keyamo that had come to do a statement where he said that he accused Mr. Peter Obi of trying to bribe, the Christian leaders or something like that. And I did a tweet. And I said, if anybody thinks that we're campaigning, that anybody needs to bribe Christian leaders for them to understand that a Muslim ticket, it's not just an insult, but an injustice and, a blatant telling you that you do not matter as a Christian in this country, then I don't have any words for any of such people. Because if you say in a country where you're supposed to have 50-50%, and there's supposed to be equity, and we know how divided Nigeria is. On a normal day, it's not something that people should blink eye out of. I mean, I'm from Edo State, and I see Christian, ticket every day. People tell me, even as a Muslim, that I can't be a governor of Edo State. But you know how polarized Nigeria is. For that to be allowed to stand, and people are like, it doesn't matter, whatever. They've already sold yourself. That's the message you have sent. That is the message, because we've continuously seen Nigeria as a place where the moment a person of, how do I put it, people see their own in power, they become extremely arrogant. We saw the only time I think we did not experience that was during Obasanjo. He didn't give anybody room to even begin to do that. We saw even with Jonathan. I'm from the South, and you know how arrogant Southerners were during the time of Jonathan. There's always that arrogance. You saw when Buhari was in office, the way those that would call themselves Fulanis, and the whole thing. So it's something that has been in Nigeria and be on it. But to say for me to even see those governors, that means it is what they have discussed inside their houses. And it's so unfortunate. And let me tell you something. For me, most of these malams, I call them malaman alat. In Hausa, meaning malams that are dependent on alat. These are people that are paid by government.
That's the sheikh now.
The sheikh, I'm talking about the sheikh. I think in Zingina or Jingina.
Jingir, I think.
Jingir, let me not miss, because for me, I have issues with names, remembering people's names. That particular, this thing. They go and check Nigerian budget. They are collecting billions of naira to build mosques. They are paying some billions to build churches. Are those the people that are going to speak for the people? They are not going to speak. They are protecting their jobs. And I remember I think it's 2019, where there was a memo that came out from Kaduna State, where it was said that, the Kaduna government written that they had paid malams for favorable sermon. Are those the kind of malams that anybody should be listening to? You also would see situations whereby even in the, you see pastors and leaders. I remember, I think recently I've seen a religious leader who called out Pastor Adeboye and said that is it because of the monies they are giving to them. I saw a video like that. And so we have these people who don't talk. Even during COVID, right? I think it was in Gandu, I'm trying to remember the facts correctly now. Kano State, then Governor Ganduje, that had said, if they do anything to tell people not to take the vaccine, they're going to take them off the payroll that they are in. So these are people who are paid by government. So they would say anything to defend that. But one of the things I will also say is that look at the body language that is coming out from the north. Nobody is listening to those malams. In short, they are abusing. And I am in my 50s, right? Born and brought up in Kano. Grew up in Kano. I was born and brought up in Kano. You understand? I speak Hausa like a native. I lived amongst Hausa. I grew up there. For the first time, you've seen the northern youth revolting or standing up against the Malams. You saw the other day when Sultan of Sokoto was said to have said that people should vote for APC. Literally, they were cussing him out. No, they didn't even hold any this thing, and they were saying things like, "Oh, that one that his work is just to be a moon announcer in house. We call it. He just comes out to announce moon. What does he? Why will he be telling them this?" So even these malams, nobody is listening to them anymore. So whatever it is that they are saying, I don't think it's something that anybody should take seriously. But for me, what I want is that the anger that people felt at the statement, because it's a very heinous statement. Even in Islam, the Christians are not called infidels; they are called people of the book.
Exactly. I was actually going to ask you that.
They are not called infidels; they are called people of the book. The Christians, the Jews. You understand? I can't be a Muslim and not believe in Jesus. It's not possible. So for him to make that statement, but they know when they say he who pays the piper, right, dictates the tune, and they know what he knew what he was doing there. They know what they're doing, but the people are no longer fooled at all.
In view of President Donald Trump's remarks about religious killings, which he termed genocide from the terrorists and bandits, he called it outrightly, Christians are being killed, our Christian brothers are being killed in Nigeria, we're not going to tolerate that, and he went on and on about that. Shouldn't governors from northern Nigeria, northern elites, northern leaders, have ensured that clerics, northern clerics, Muslim Islamic clerics, are properly, not educated, because I think they know what they're doing, just like you said. Should such directives not have been given to clerics by northern elites or governors? What do you think?
Since you started by mentioning Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, I think I'm going to use an American phrase that says, if it ain't broken, why fix it? Yeah. So for the governors, it's not broken. They are beneficiary of this. Most of them would not have been in office if not for division. So they will use whatever it is that they can use to divide. And religion is the one that comes in most handy. Tribalism is also used. Wow. Were we not in this Nigeria? I think the thing with us is that either we forget so quickly or we don't connect issues. After 2020 protests, that started as a protest of Nigerian youth, NSAS protests, right? Nigerian youth coming out to say, stop killing us. And there were protests all across the country, north, south, everywhere. Then guess what happened? There was now division that was being used to say, oh, they are trying to remove Buhari. Oh, this is religion. It's because of religion, it's because of tribe. We were all sitting down when there was, is it Arewa Consultative Forum meeting or meeting of Northern Elders? I don't want to mix any of those. And they actually thanked, wasn't it Governor El-Rufai also? They thanked Malams for using religion during EndSARS to cause a division, so that the northern youth then did not continue in joining their southern, counterparts to do the protest. So what are we talking about? These are people who have benefited from this. And I've always said that there's a symbiotic relationship between Nigerian political rulers and Nigerian religious rulers. They are not leaders. These are rulers. And this symbiotic relationship is that the religious rulers need the political rulers to give bad governance so that they can continue to sell cheap miracles. They can put fear in people. So someone is going to go and meet their malam and say, pray for me. They will do Saukar Quran, they will read the whole Quran, or they will tell you to pay for them to go to Umrah to go and pray for them because you need this. Either you need a job, you need your result, you need one thing or the other. Without bad governance, you will need to go to meet them. Why do I need to go and meet a malam to pray for me that I'm going to get visa? There are people who don't need visas to such countries. Same thing with pastors. You're going to meet your pastor to pray miracle and all of that. You want to go and do a testimony. Some people will, after they take their result to them, to go and bless it. You won't need to do that if there are good governance, if the economy is expanding and there are jobs that are available. On the other hand, the political rulers, they need the religious rulers to keep the people subdued. That's why you were hearing during Buhari that protest was haram. Malams were coming to tell us that protest was haram. You can't go, you can't talk to the leaders, whatever it is, you enjoy it. And the more we go on, the more there is hardship. You see, and I've said this thing a lot of times before. That is why you will see Hisbah, we go on rampage. They will be destroying people's alcohol. They will burn there, they will say this and that. And I've always said, meanwhile, those same states are collecting VAT that is coming from alcohol. And for me, that is economic terrorism. I've said people whose businesses are being affected in that way should be able to go to court and ensure that they get a judgment all the way to the Supreme Court. I'm a Muslim. I don't drink. I've never tested alcohol. But that is my religious injunction. It is not another person's religious injunction. Nigeria is a secular state. Everybody should be allowed to practice their religion the way they want to. You can't force someone to wear hijab. Neither can you force someone not to wear hijab. Let people be and let them do, what they're doing. But what you see is this religious people, they will bring out more and more religion where people are suffering to say to them, this world is not for you. So this is the truth. In the Islamic part, which is mostly in the northern part of the, this world is not for you. It's a temporary place. When you go to heaven, you enter Al-Jannah. So whatever suffering you're getting, just keep quiet. In the Christian part, which is mostly the southern part, you're being told that why are you making demands on government when you can ask for your own blessing? That's why you heard people praying that this government will favor them. I remember when Tinubu came and we were saying this, or they were saying that the government, okay, are we not all suffering, right now? So at the end of the day, it is not in the best interest for governors, for them to say that, to ensure that, religious leaders are brought to, not brought to book or made to behave in the right way, otherwise they stopped preaching. I remember in 1992, the reason why I remember that was the year I started university. My first university that I started with was Usman Adam Fodio University. And the then Sultan of Sokoto, I think it was the Suki, yes, before Machido, Sultan Machido came in, had set up something to say, Malams should not just go out and start preaching. You must go through a process, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You must go through a process before you start, before you start. Many people kicked against it. At the end of the day, he was removed. I think that was then later on, and it might not be a related issue. I also remember at one time, Governor El-Rufai also wanted to start something like that. But because of course, I supported that, to say, look, we need that. But sometimes it's not about the message, it's then about the message. There is a kind of
doing that in Niger State.
Fantastic. It's needed. And, I was telling people, look, as much as, yes, Governor El-Rufai was very dictatorial in office, and all of that, the things that I thought, it's a good thing for people to fight. There must be a standardized messaging. There must be a sort of, like, whether certificate or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but we can't have anybody come in and just talk anyhow. And if they talk anyhow, they should be arrested. And I always say, if you are ready to kill for God, you should be ready to die for God. So the ones that people will do some heinous things and then they disappear or they run away or they begin to do this thing. I think there's another video where some people, I think it's in Ghana, where they have this Malams, Islamic, Malams, they were attacking someone. They say the government has gone to arrest them. Like, that's fantastic. Absolutely. And they should dare not run away, because that's cowardly. People bring their murderous intent into religion. And one of the things also is that when certain people do things, then it's classified, oh, that's Islam. That's not Islam. That is those heinous people who are not being fought by the government.
I'm going to ask you, what do you think should, but let me ask you first, why is President Tinubu repeating the Muslim tickets? I've had guests on this seat where you sat, prominent northerners, Fulani, and not even non-Fulani northerners, sit where you sat. In fact, Professor Usman Yusuf, the famous professor, for many years has been calling President Tinubu's Muslim ticket a scam. That is a scam. That it is not about Islam.
There's nothing Islamic about
it. There's nothing Islamic about it. Yeah. Why? And then, from even what you said now, that northern youths are revolting against, the leaders and even the ulamas and all of. But why? What's the audacity or the boldness of the president repeating this? Because look at the uproar when he announced Kashim in 2022. Look at the uproar. You would have thought, okay, now you're in office, just to assuage the sensibilities of almost 50% of Nigerian population. At least there are northern Christians who, as northerners as they come. Why do you think he has repeated this ticket?
I don't think he has any option not to repeat the ticket. And I'll tell you why. And this is it. The only reason why Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to...
I'm sure it's President Bola Ahmed. We want to say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The only reason... President now? Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
No, let's do it. He's not your president, Aisha.
I don't have a president.
No, don't say that now.
Why would I not say that? If you want to
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not your president.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State. If you want to sit here,
and the one interview.
No, I don't even need to. I'll just walk away so that you answer. You ask yourself and you answer yourself.
Okay, so you don't accept he's the president of.
No, I don't.
You don't accept?
No. I don't, because he didn't win the 2023 election.
But he rigged it. He won. The court said he won. Mm-hmm. And all of us Nigerians, except you, and maybe Dele Farotimi had one saying he didn't win.
So why then do you care about me?
You're a Nigerian. I'm before you now, so I need to know why you don't accept that.
I've just told you.
He didn't win.
He didn't win the 2023 election, and I don't see any reason why I should give, the only thing that I know he is, to me, is an illegitimate president, if that's what you want to hear.
Almost 4 years after Aisha.
It doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. And we can't keep sweeping things under the table. And that's the audacity that he has to keep doing what he's saying. When he said all is fair, it was because of the audacity of him getting away with grab it, run with it, and everything. And this is what happens. You keep enabling him, especially the media. No, you keep enabling him.
INEC. That's the authorities.
Yeah, so INEC is not here. You'll be a law-abiding citizen. Continue to abide the law. I'm Aisha.
INEC said he won. The highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, sanctified. Let me borrow the Christian phrase, sanctified that he won. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I obey the Constitution, which is the ground norm. So I have to accept it. It was, I don't have to say that, but I accept that he's president. Anyway,
if the Constitution was what we really followed, and the law, he wouldn't be there. We wouldn't even be declared winner. But anyway, I'm coming back to the question. Or we're going to talk about.
No, continue with it.
So it's for a political reason that Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will keep on. What's his name now?
Muslim Kashim Shettima.
Mr. Kashim Shettima. I just remember earlier on I had a conversation I always have a problem with names because I don't remember names as much. He does not have the Northwest. So in 2023, he could rig the election, because for you to even be able to rig election, you need a critical number. Yeah. So the Northwest gave him that critical number. And sometimes when election is too big to be rigged, when you rig it, you only rig it to reduce the embarrassment, not to win, because that's what we had in the different states. Even where our win was given to Roth, our numbers were really, reduced. So for now, he has lost that Northwest. One is that there were a lot of things that were going on in 2023, and one of the places where Tinubu had done, Mr. Tinubu has done his Mr. Tinubu thing was to put a front that he was sick. He was very sick, he was frail and everything. And there were a lot of people in the northern part of the country who bought into that. And it was, even you go on Facebook, it wasn't a hidden thing. So there was this thing about, what happened with Yar'Adua was going to happen again. And I remember that time they brought Mr. Tinubu in with this.
Do you actually think that was a planned?
It was a scam. It was when you say 419, you're doing 419.
Sure? Did you actually believe that was a strategy?
Before, I'm telling you, it is. You are still asking me, am I sure? Am I supposed to go and bring another Aisha Yesufu to answer your question for you? Why are you asking me, am I sure? It was a scam. It was a master scam. Wow. Master scam. And even when he brought out, and then this thing was showing, I think line, there were quite a number of people that were saying, look, they know this person and these people, that their capacity to do things will not allow that thing to be shown, but it was done for a reason. And so many people in the north believe that, and they ran with that. So most of them that were voting were not really voting for.
Aisha, please,
this is me, Aisha, talking. Now, can you allow me finish my thoughts?
Allow me, please. Just one. I'm sorry, really sorry, but
the entire Mr. Tinubu is sick during 2022-2023 election was a scam, was a lie that was being sold to Ghana secondary. We think that they are voting for Kashim. I put water for my mouth. They talk. They allow me. They talk now. When I don't flow land, you will come talk. Now you want to do this interview? These are things I have said many times.
No, I'm hearing this.
I've analyzed it. So the thing is that people don't connect dots. I do that a lot. And for me, I'm able to see, I can see the bigger picture, look at this thing. Sometimes it can be a curse because you're seeing things before people see them and they're like, going after you. So the whole of that was a scam and it was believed by a lot of people in the north because it was actually discussed. And then there was that thing where they say, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu just wants to be president. Even if he enters that day and he dies that day, he does not lie. So people believe that, and they were, as far as they're concerned, they were voting for Kashim. And it turned out, how you know that it was a scam? When results were announced by their own INEC's own fraudulent result. And then there was this video where Tinubu was dancing, and he went down. First when they sing, don't they do shaku shaku, don't they go down, they come up. As soon as I got that election, he started that whole this thing. So, beyond that, on a more serious note now, right? Going back to that initial question that you asked me, so he has lost her because you see the suffering. You see the suffering in the north. You see where there's poverty, people are suffering, and you see the uncaring nature. Propaganda cannot take away suffering. Uncaring nature that has come from Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with the spending spree that he went to, the very much lopsided appointments. Meanwhile, there were lopsided appointments during Buhari. That's why I don't have sympathy for anybody. Some people were defending that. Some northern leaders were defending that. When Tinubu said, how did they used to say that thing? Hold my stick or whatever. Let me show you what nepotism is. He carried on 2 times this thing. And all of this lopsided election and all of that. And then the needless fight with former Governor Nasiru El-Rufai. Nasiru El-Rufai and myself, there's no love lost between us. We quarrel like no man's business. I think it was 2019 or February 2019 or 2020. We had a major quarrel even on on Facebook. I remember then some people were saying to me, Aisha, you should be careful. Your property. You have a lot of properties in Kaduna. Let them try it. Now that day all of us were kukuma mad and everything. The kind of heinousness that was done on Nasiru El-Rufai. He has also done his own. We will talk karma or whatever. He too, when he was in power, he entered the hair, he was doing it to other people. But that does not mean that we will not say the right thing when we see it. And when we are fighting for justice, it's not only for people that we like. Whether we like people or not, we must fight, for it. What Tinubu has done to Nasiru El-Rufai is heinous. You understand? It's abominable. In the fact that this is someone, I will tell you, Nasir El-Rufai is I want to say the biggest reason why Tinubu got into office. He was the one that had the audacity to stand up to Buhari with all of those Naira thing, went all the way, their governors went and took the government to court on the Naira issue, went with him everywhere. And how do I put it now, helped with the question, everything that needed to be done. Nasir El-Rufai is the kind of person that he will carry matter on his head. If he believes in something, he will carry it on his head. Good or bad, he will carry it on his head. And so he did everything for Tinubu. And Tinubu then decided to disgrace him and punish him in the way that he is. People watch, people get angry. We also, where Nasir El-Rufai had said that he was not going to do any position, he wanted to go on. And Tinubu standing there and saying that I will not leave this stage until you promise me that you are going to do all of that. Then you now come to disgrace him, even at the National Assembly. We know the National Assembly is in the pocket of Mr. Tinubu. And then to say that, they did not make him that minister and whatever, that was him trying to break him. So that has caused a lot of rancor, and not just that, and other things. For him now he needs to keep the Northeast as much as he can. Which other region? With the Middle Belt, you have seen him, he has been trying very hard to go on and give the lots of appointments. You see the appointment that will come. I think the INEC chair, they're quite the APC chairman. There has been some sort of compensation. SJ, who is SJ? Oh yeah, that's SDF and all of that, to bring the middle belt, because he's trying to get the Christian within the middle belt to say, okay, we appease them to say we have you on this thing. So he cannot afford not to have a Kashim, because now if he takes out Kashim, then the Northeast are going to, there's nothing to even placate them. They're going to be angry. So even when Ganduje was chairman of APC, they almost lynched him. He tried it. He saw the anger because they tested the waters. And it might even be one of those things why this one they had to tell Ganduje, go and get something else and give this. They tested the waters. They saw those ones were ready to stand. So he can't afford to. He has lost in North West. Northeast is there that he and Atiku are going after. Then you lose. Then the middle, but you still can't, because in middle the Muslim ticket is still a major issue. Because look, whether we like it or not, and we can have two truths at the same time. I think that's what people shy away for. There is indeed a genocide in Nigeria within the way people are being killed in yeah, I believe that. And there is also a genocide against Muslims. So yes, when people say there's genocide, some don't say there's genocide against. How would you not say there's genocide when you see people they are being killed because of their religion? You enter communities, you kill them. Communities that it's all Christians. You enter the church, you kill them. But it does not also take away the fact that there's also genocide against Muslims in Nigeria, because people have been killed in mosques. They have been killed in their villages that are all Muslims have been wiped out. People have run away from villages. Villages are ghost towns. So at the end of the day, there is genocide in Nigeria where citizens are being killed, both the Muslim and the Christian, but you'll find out that there is more of the Christians that are being killed. These are truths that we must sit down and recognize and work towards it. But let me tell you something. The saddest part, and I want to, it might not, it's not part of your question, but I want to say it to illustrate what I'm talking about. The saddest part in Nigeria is that for your death to matter as a Nigerian, you have to be killed in certain places. And I'll give you an example. As a Muslim, if you're killed in Northwest, your death doesn't matter. If you're killed in Sokoto, in this state, your death doesn't matter. As a Christian, if you're killed in the Southeast or South, your death doesn't matter. For your death to matter, you have to be a Christian killed either in the Northwest or in the northern part of the country, and you have to be a Muslim killed in the southern part of the country. Let me give you an example. When we had Uromi, some hunters were massacred and killed in Uromi. I think Uromi 16 or something they called it. There was an uproar all over the country. Northern leaders that you don't hear them speaking, other than when they are arranging mass marriage, that you see them, all of them, northern governors were talking, were angry, they are killing their people in the south, they are killing Muslims in the south. Meanwhile, if those Muslims were Edo Muslims, nobody would have said anything. Their Islam does not matter, you understand? So it wouldn't have made any, but because they were from the north passing through and they were killed, they were killed. Guess what? A few days later, I think about 20 Muslims were killed in Sokoto by the terrorists. The same northern government that were shouting about their people being killed were no longer shouting, because it didn't matter. There was no religious distinction, because these are Muslims killed by Muslims. In northern, who are you going to accuse? There was nothing. The same thing When you see some deaths will happen, when Southeast people are killed, terrorists will go and massacre, you don't see the Christian leaders coming out to say, oh no, their people are being killed in the South. They'll make it a Biafra issue, they'll make it whatever, everybody will unlook. But when Christians are killed in Plateau, Benue, then that makes it, that's when they now speak up. So we all are the problem. At the end of the day, terrorists all are killing us, they don't care, but we have made it a religious and a tribal thing.
What should happen to this cleric who was calling Christians infidels and saying if they can't bear the Muslim, they should go toss into the lagoon for all he cares? And then what should happen to Senator Adefadaunsi, the senator representing Osun East, who said openly, recorded, even though he tried to deny and say he eventually said it's AI. Should they just walk free, both of them? Because that's not a question.
That's not a question that should be asked of me. Or that's a question that you should sit the people who are in office down and ask them. This is a question that the IG of police should be answering. This is a question that the EFCC chairman should be answering, not a question that Aisha Yesufu will ask. How many times have we said ask for prosecution? Nobody should be above the law. If you say you are a religious leader, you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much that you make certain things, then you should be able to also rot in jail for that sake. After all, there are a lot of people that you can go and preach to them. Why must you preach using Jeep, the finest cars and these things? You can preach in prison. Anybody should they should be prosecuted. But the thing is, asking me this thing, what does it doesn't make any sense as far as I'm concerned at this time, because we keep talking about these things and they're not being done. What then needs to happen is to put the people who are supposed to be in authority to do it. Of course, the EFCC chairman, or let me say the EFCC becomes blind when the people who are either in government or related to those in government, supporters of them, do all manner of things. We also recently the wife of a sitting elective officer, whether senator or something, putting out bundles, and some of them were wearing APC uniform.
Candidates of the APC in Nasarawa.
Okay, exactly. Putting out money. Where is EFCC in all of this? Is EFCC will be blind and all of that. So I don't think this is a question for me. For me, is that everybody should be prosecuted. Nobody is above the law. If you say you want to tell us how much you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much you love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go to prison and go and continue the preaching all out there. But as far as Nigeria, the laws of Nigeria, must be obeyed, and that's it.
Okay. Let's switch gears from that. I'm sure the anti-corruption agencies, the security agencies, they will get this.
They know me. They know my house. No far. Anytime they want me, I'm ready to come over there. We are friends with each other.
It's not about you. What I'm saying is that they will hear your message loud and clear.
So they will hear.
Hopefully
you not hear. Oh, it's this person.
They will do the needful.
FCC is no longer doing this thing.
They will do the needful. Okay. In his August media chat, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike heavily criticized your principal, Mr. Peter Obi, dismissing his presidential ambitions and accusing him of political opportunism, cheap populism, and politics of sentiments. Wike further claimed that Obi lacks, using his own words, not my words, I have serious respect, deep respect for Mr. Peter Obi. This is Wike's words, that Mr. Peter Obi lacks the genuine leadership capacity required to guide Nigeria, arguing that his public persona does not match his governance track record. How do you respond to this?
Mr. Wike is a mere appointee. When he becomes a presidential candidate and he makes that statement, I will respond to him. Right now, it's a waste of my time.
He's the FCT minister. And
he's an FCT minister, but a mere appointee.
Is determined to deliver FCT, where he presides over. And Rivers State, the second most important state in Nigeria, well, maybe the third, after Lagos and Kano, is determined to deliver it to the president in 2020. So you don't think his comments matter?
It's not. His comment doesn't mean anything. It's not worth it. It's just a mere appointee who has to, do what is called boy for his principal. So I do understand with him. It's not worth any response. When he becomes the presidential candidate, definitely we get a response. As of now, everybody can talk now. Nobody to talk. Talk is cheap.
Okay, so you're not perturbed about?
No, I'm not. With Mr. Wike, no, now, Abba. Mr. Wike, I said I'm an appointee. That's the way he said it. Even for Rivers State, they send a message.
He stopped an incumbent governor from seeking re-election.
That one, you wait till our people, they call MU because he brought in this thing. Forget that thing. Let him go to Rivers and talk. If a mere appointee, there's nothing. He's not a threat. He's just saying things. When he becomes someone that is really, I will respond, because as of now, it's waste of time. Yeah.
Yourself, when Mr. Peter Obi did Sunday night interview on Channels TV network, you came out blistering on your personal YouTube space, saying you found the entire interview line of questioning. You said it was irritating, using your words that you were irritated by it. Can you elaborate on this? What do you mean exactly?
Yeah, I was irritated by that whole interview because at the end of the day,
2 hours.
What then is the essence of some questions that are being repeated, that answers have been given over and over again? And if we were to go to that interview, probably, and I have deep respect for Shehu. Shehu is my brother. tight brother. But if you keep repeating the same questions that you've asked before and the answers have been given, what is it? It's just like this question that I'm always asked when I say Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and people are going on and on. I will give it to you. The reason why I was a bit, how do I put it, mild with you on that was because this is the first time that you are asking me. There are the same people that have asked me that question and I've answered it, and they keep repeating it. What do you want to hear? The thing was that one of the things that media in Nigeria is helping Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu do is to lower the conversation. Instead of us to talk about the conversations of things that are happening in the country and where the whole field, we're talking about what school did you finish, which this thing, what shoe are you wearing? For me, those are not issues that we should be talking about. Our country is on the break, and let's not reduce the conversation to the level of Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's upgrade the conversation and keep it where it is something that will be of use to Nigeria as a whole, and not to, just for the sake of trending. If conversation is about views, because that's one of the things that I see now, people are just talking for, okay, why can't we have that thing that we trend, that will now bring people to, that's not what it should be about. It should be about what are the deep conversations that we're going to have in a way that builds Nigeria. Before you go to the next question, probably this might even be the next question, there were a lot of people who took that and were trying to make mountains out of molehill. I think that the word, is that how they say it here? And I think I saw one, I just watched it briefly, I just laughed because sometimes that appointee position in Nigeria, because people are afraid, and I always say, how do I used to put it? May our bills not be more than our integrity.